mean, hated them, but respected them, and vice versa for them and us. You know, the only redeeming factor was people say, what's the roughest bullpen you've ever been in? I said, Boston. There's nowhere to hide down there, you know. It was like, oh my God, you know, the outhouse out there when you had to go to the bathroom, they'd throw stuff and beat on it and, you know, and all kinds of lines coming at you. So it was a brutal place, but the only redeeming factor of that was these guys have to come into our bullpen at Yankee Stadium. So
you mentioned Thurman Munson in one of the previous answers there. What was that like, playing with Thurman Munson as far as a teammate?
Well, he was one of the, as I said this morning, there's hardly a day that goes by that I don't think about this guy. He had such an influence as first my friend and then my teammate, and that's how I think probably all of us would talk about Thurman. And you know, I was mentioning to someone that night after the first game after Thurman's death, which was a couple nights later, we had an off day on Monday. Tuesday, we played a game against the Baltimore Orioles, and we took the field as we always do at home at Yankee Stadium, and they left the catcher's position open. And a young kid, I think Brad Goulden was the kid that came up, and he was the kid that was going to take his spot that night. And I said to someone, I've never heard 55,000 people crying and wailing. Women were wailing, and I just never heard anything like that, and you could hear a pin drop. And it was the roughest thing that I've ever had to go through as far as an ex-teammate or during a season like that. And it just took all the air out of us. And as you can imagine, I think it took the whole air out of all the Yankee fans that knew how great this guy was. You know, as a player, he was as tough as nails. I hit him when I was with the Chicago White Sox. Little did I know 2 years later we would be teammates. And I hit him, I was starting a game in Chicago in 1976. Then 78, I came to the Yankees, and then we became teammates. And I hit him one night, I was starting in 1976, and I hit him in the elbow. And Thurman never left the game. And this ball hit him, and I'm throwing close to 100. And it hits him on the elbow, and I watched his elbow blow up like a balloon, going to first base. Took him all day to get to first base. And I don't know Thurman, I just know he's a great player, I just know who he is. Now, after the game, they took him out of the game, took him to the hospital for x-rays. And I got a note after the game that said, I took your best blankety blank shot. We have a young man here, and I can't repeat, and I would never repeat what Thurman said, but I got that note, it was torn off the bottom of a notepad, and it said, I took your best blankety blank shot, you blankety blank blank, signed the White Gorilla. And if I had one piece of memorabilia, it would be that piece of paper with that inscription on there. And as soon as I joined the Yankees, we became fast friends, and that was the subject of topic was me drilling him 2 years ago. So, that night at Yankee Stadium, he doesn't have to take a backseat to Johnny Bench or Carlton Fisk or anybody else catcher who's in the Hall of Fame. So we miss him, we love him, and like I said, I'll have a glass of wine. I don't even drink anymore, just in his honor. So, great guy.
I want to take you to another emotional day for you, emotional in a good way, and that's 2008 being inducted into the Hall of Fame. And very few of us will get to experience what it's like to be the best at what we do. What was that like for you to, for the culmination of your career to be a Hall of Famer?
Well, my God, I don't even know where to start on this answer. When I started out leaving Colorado And I was telling Brandon Steiner, driving here, about, I'm starting out on this journey. Mickey Mantle, who is I grew up Yankee fans, my mom and dad. I was a mistake in our family. I had 4 older brothers and older brothers, 17 years older than me, and then 16, 15, and 14 are my older siblings. And then here I come along. I was a mistake. And I have a younger sister because my mom said, well, he can't be all alone by himself, so he needs somebody to hang out with. So I have a younger sister. So, but starting out on this journey, my dad would always tell me, you know, we couldn't rub 2 nickels together. He didn't like to work. I had a great childhood. I got a lot of love from my mom and dad, from my whole family. And, you know, but we just never had, we were very poor, but had a lot of great things, you know. They say the best things in life are free, it's true. And, you know, I just had that wonderful childhood growing up, and my dad used to tell me baseball was my passion, and my dad's passion, my whole family's passion. We were all Yankee fans. My God, I'm starting out on a journey where I'm going to try to get Mickey Mantle out? Are you shitting me? Excuse my language. And are you kidding? I'm trying to get a guy out that I don't think puts his pants on the same way I do. And you know how Mantle was. I mean, I met Mickey the first time at my first All-Star game in 1976, the same year I drilled Munson, and it was an out-of-body experience, is the best way I can describe it. And he was the honorary captain of the team, of our All-Star team, my first All-Star team. And it was just an out-of-body experience. So now I'm starting out on this journey, never been on a plane, graduated from high school, came running in the house, told my mom my father had passed away the year before. He'd always told me, you're gonna play in the big leagues someday, son. And I'd say, Dad, please don't say that. I thought it was something that just, there's no way. You know, Mickey Mantle, these guys are fictitious cartoon characters that don't even exist. And I'm gonna go try to get guys like Mickey Mantle out and all the greats that I looked up to. Wow, it was just overwhelming. So I come running in the house one day upon graduating out of high school, and I was looking forward to furthering my education. I had scholarships to just about every big baseball school in the country, and full rides, and I didn't, like I said, we didn't have the money to pay for an education, so I was going to get my education paid for. And I come running in the house that day, graduated 2 days before, and I said, Mom, I got a job coaching the kids at the park that I grew up playing my youth baseball at my little league stuff. And I came running in the house, Mom, I got a job coaching at the park for the kids this summer. She goes, great, Rick. I run right by this guy. He's sitting on the couch. She goes, this gentleman has a job for you too. And I turned around, and it was a scout from the Chicago White Sox, and informed me then and there that I'd been drafted by them, and I didn't have a good high school season. And I thought, with that, you know, I'll just go to college and play my college ball, and didn't really think I was going to get drafted. Now, I ended up signing this contract. They offered me $5,000 and I held out for $8,000. So it's the first time too that I knew I needed an agent, you know. And so I borrowed my brother's Jeep, signed the contract, borrowed my brother's Jeep, went up to a place in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains to one of my dad's and my favorite places that we would go hunting or hiking or just be out in the great outdoors. And I sat there and cried all afternoon about what I had done. What am I getting myself into? I can't get Mickey Mantle out. This is exactly what I was thinking. I can't get Mickey Mantle out. I'm doing something that's impossible. That these guys aren't fictitious. They are fictitious cartoon characters. These guys don't really exist. I've never been on an airplane. I've never been out of the state of Colorado. I've never done anything. I know I'm good for Colorado, but I can't get Mickey Mantle out. I cried all afternoon. It was getting dark, and I said, I gotta go. You know, I'm leaving in 2 days for my first assignment of rookie ball down in Sarasota, Florida with the Chicago White Sox, the lowest classification of professional ball. Wow, overwhelming. Scared to death, out of my mind. I stopped crying. I said, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen. I'm still crying. I don't know what I'm getting myself into, but the only thing that's going to keep me from being good or whatever, or getting to the big leagues, or achieving what I want to, what I'm starting out to do, is I'm just not good enough. But it's not because the if and shoulda woulda, the if and shoulda woulda couldas, if ands or buts, none of that bullshit. If I'm not good enough, that's the only thing that's going to keep me from doing what I want to do. And all I wanted to do when I started out was put a big league uniform on one time, and that one time turned into 22 years. So getting back to your question about what this is, it's an out-of-body experience. I wish every great baseball fan could do what I did. I lived a dream. I got guys out like Mickey Mantle. I was good enough, but I didn't know that. But I made that commitment to myself, young man. You're going to come to pass in your life that you're going to have to make decisions on. That was the biggest decision of my life at that time. And all I wanted to do was put a big league uniform on one time, and it turned into 22 years and an election to the Hall of Fame. Oh my God, it is. You know, we had a great saying, young man, this is how hard baseball is. We had a great saying. Baseball is made up of players who have been humbled and those that soon will be. Doesn't it sound like life itself? How humbling life is? We control what we can control. When I started compartmentalizing or whatever the game about stopping worrying about all the crap that's going to happen after I let go of this baseball, all my energy was going to worrying about all that shit, right? About what was going to happen after I let go of this ball. What can I control? One thing, this pitch. That is it. When I stopped worrying about all this crap and started controlling what I can control, doesn't it go back to our lives? We control what we control in our lives, and then we deal with the shit as it comes at us. And baseball is just like that. The shit is coming at us as a pitcher. Yogi Berra said it best. They're trying to control a game today that is uncontrollable. We control what we can in our lives, we control what we can in baseball, and then we deal with the crap as it comes at us. That makes sense?
Absolutely.
That's why we all love baseball, because it's the hardest game on the planet to play. I played golf. I got a hell of a lot better chance of playing on the PGA Tour than those guys have of getting a hit or pitching. Let me tell you, it's a game of failure. 7 out of 10 times you fail, and you're a star. What else can you fail at 7 out of 10 times and be a star? The only other thing that I've heard is a weatherman. So, you know, that's how great this game of baseball is. And the great saying that baseball is made up of players who have been humbled and those that soon will be. A short memory is a beautiful thing. We build on the good, young man. We learn from the bad, and we let it go. Right? What's in front of us? Behind us. We build on the good, learn from the bad, let it go. Live in the moment.